welcome to another perspective. It's your boy Tyrese Biv, and we're going to be talking about the NBA after the big trade. Carmelo Anthony to the Thunder joining forces with Paul George and Russell Westbrook. Now, to me, this is going to be something, it's going to take some time, of course, but it's something that really helps all three players, because Melo now doesn't have to do a whole lot of heavy lifting like he's had to do majority of his career as far as offensively. And then at the same time, Paul George can play. He can play defense on the best perimeter player on the other team, and Melo doesn't have to, I guess, be exposed or for his defensive abilities or lack thereof. But it also helps Russell Westbrook, because now Russ can take a load off. He doesn't have to feel like he has to do so much, and because I'm gonna be completely honest right now. The guy that we seen in Oklahoma City and the guy that we seen in Golden State last year, it was two different guys. That wasn't the same Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, there was times, and I've said this, and people look at me like I'm strange when I say it, but there was times that I've watched the Thunder, and I forget Kevin Durant was on the floor. He would literally disappear on the floor. And not because he disappeared because, he's not good, or he, didn't want the basketball, or he was afraid of the moment or anything. But it was almost as if he said, "Nah, Russ, you go ahead and do your thing." Whereas last year, he said, "Nah, Steph, Clay, give me the rock." He was a different guy. But now with Melo and with Paul George, Russ is not going to, he's going to have, there's going to be issues with them three sharing the basketball. And it's really going to be an issue down the stretch and in clutch moments. And, you're going to find themselves overpassing and trying to be the best teammates that they can be. They're going to go through those bumps in the road. But if they can find a groove by the All-Star break, and by late March, if everyone's healthy, they legitimately, if they're on the same page and healthy, they legitimately can challenge the Warriors. And they're probably, in my opinion, the only team in the NBA that can legitimately challenge the Warriors. Yeah. I know that the Spurs were up 26 before Kawhi Leonard got hurt, and the Spurs would have been up 1-9 with a chance to probably at least go to San Antonio tied at a game apiece at worst. But the Warriors weren't going to play like that 4 out of 7 times. You might have got one or 2 performances the way they performed in the series. You might have got 2 performances like that out of 7 games. And I don't think that the Spurs were going to click on all cylinders like they were clicking on all cylinders 4 out of 7 times against that Warriors team. So, do I think they would have swept them? No, I don't think they would have swept them. Do I think they would have beaten them in 5? No. It would have been a 6-game series. But the funny thing about this whole situation is another super team in the West. Now, the Knicks were trash. The Knicks were going to be trash again this year, even with Carmelo. But you think the Pacers were a playoff team last year. They were the 8th seed, but they were a playoff team. They're arguably their 2 best players, Jeff Teague and Paul George, both went to the West. Kyrie Irving went to the Celtics along with Gordon Hayward. They got better, but I don't think they got better enough to dethrone the Cavs. That I don't think they're good enough to do that just yet, barring some injury. But when you look at this Cavs team, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they could have a guy or 2 or even 3 be hurt at the wrong time and they, run into a stumbling block. Derrick Rose is not known to be a healthy guy for an entire season and playoff run. Kevin Love has had, problems with staying healthy in his past. J.R. Smith, and it's not official yet, but it looks like it's leaning towards Dwayne Wade joining the Cavs as well. These are guys who are going to play major roles and major minutes in this Cavs rotation. And then you add the fact that you were willing to trade Kyrie Irving for Isaiah Thomas, not truly knowing the extent of his hip injury. So you add Isaiah Thomas now into the mix of the Dwayne Wades now as well, the Derrick Roses, the Kevin Loves. You add these 2 guys into that mix of players who have a history of being hurt. LeBron James has a championship team on paper. This is a championship team. Now, does that mean they're going to win the championship? No. I still think the Warriors are the favorite to win it all. But the Cavs are going to have a few problems of their own. They're going to have chemistry issues, just like all the other teams that added all these new players. You think about it, all the teams that people are thinking that are potential contenders, they have 4 or 5 new players on these teams, and the Warriors really don't. They have their core coming back yet again after winning a championship, and now it's going to be KD more comfortable, Clay more comfortable, Steph more comfortable, Draymond more comfortable in the roles that they are now playing within this team. This team is going to be a little bit more dangerous than they were a year ago, and even perhaps 2 years ago when they won 73 games. By no means do I think they're going to break their own record and win 74 or tie the record and win 73. But the comfort level is you can't add Kevin Durant and think that this team is worse. So to think that this team got worse is just mind-boggling. But to think that they're not going to be even better this year than they were last year, because they now have that year under their belt. Klay Thompson was the odd man out, and he just looked uncomfortable at times offensively, but he brought it defensively. And you've seen that in the finals. He did a really good job against Kyrie, who's probably one of the top 10, 15 offensive players in the NBA. But I want to say this about the East. There's 2, maybe 3 teams in particular that I want to kind of hint towards who might have a shot outside of the Cavs and the Celtics. The first one is the team who I think has arguably the second best backcourt in the NBA, and that's the Washington Wizards. The Wizards, they're one guy away. They are an Otto Porter or Kelly Oubre offensive explosion or coming of age, whatever term you want to use, away from legitimately contending. That's their Achilles heel. They do not, if John Wall and Bradley Beal is not on the court at the same time or on the court at any point, they struggle scoring the basketball. One of them has to remain on the floor at all times. And that's difficult, especially when you consider that John Wall is playing every night. He's playing both ways as hard as possible, because at point guard, there's really not many nights off. And we just keep adding every year. It's just new crops of point guards. You add in the De'Aaron Foxes and the Dennis Smith Juniors and the Lonzo Balls and, the Markelle Fultz of the world. They just came in, and you add them to the Chris Pauls and the Damian Lillards and the Steph Currys and the Kyrie Irvings and the Isaiah Thomases that are already there. He's got to step off the floor. So it's gonna be real difficult for them to not, without having that third guy that they can just get a ball to and say, go get a bucket. And then the other 2 teams, the Raptors, and in my opinion, probably the most athletic team, the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks, I don't know what they're missing. They seem to be missing something, but I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's outside shooting, what it is, but they're just missing something. And the day of the post guy is pretty much done, so that's not really it, but they're missing something. But they can defend, they're athletic. I love Chris Middleton. I think Chris Middleton is probably one of the most underrated players in the NBA. But it's going to be a big season. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait until it starts. I'm excited for the NBA. I'm excited for the NBA. I'm a Bulls fan, so I'm not that excited. But Carmelo Anthony is my guy, so I'm excited, man. I'm excited for him. He has a true opportunity to win a championship for the first time since really 2009, when they lost in the Western Conference Finals, when he was with Denver to the Lakers. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I hope you are too, man. Again, this is your boy Tyrese Bibb signing off with another perspective.